So, due to all the recent news with Jalen Carter, we're going to act like he doesn't exist in this mock draft. Although, very sad tragedy that did go down. Two very young people have lost their life in this situation. I think that is important before you judge Jalen Carter or call him anything ridiculous because once the truth is out, we can make our judgment, but we don't have that yet. So, don't be too quick to judge. This is completely. A tragedy and an unfortunate event. And Jalen Carter said he's confident that he will be exonerated from all charges and whatnot. So we'll see what happens. He said that he wants the full truth out there, but if I were him, I'd also say that. So not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that if I were in his situation, it's not hard to defend yourself, and he was at the combine, he left the combine, and apparently he's going back to the combine. It's very tough. Linebackers and whatever work out in 30 minutes as well, so I'll try to keep this kind of quick because I do want to watch the combine. So, yes, call me a nerd. I don't care. Let's draft. At number 1 overall, I don't think this comes as a surprise. I think Will Anderson off the board, especially if we're not considering Jalen Carter. We have no other choice but to go with Will Anderson Jr. At the number 2 overall pick, Bryce Young seems to be the quarterback 1 consensus right now, and the number 2 or the first quarterback off the board consensus as well. I don't think you could change anyone's mind on that. That's for dang sure. And then right here at Arizona, this is the typical spot where Jalen Carter goes. Can't really take him here. So what do? You go Devin Witherspoon out of Arizona. This is pre-combine. All right, I'm not predicting anything, but I'm guessing Witherspoon's going to have an excellent combine, raise his draft stock, and he'll be the first corner off the board at number 3. It's a need for Arizona, and I think that Christian Gonzalez will also do really well. But I think Devin Witherspoon is cornerback number 1 for some, and I just want to kind of make this a bold number 3. So at number 4, you have Will Levis sitting on the board along with CJ Stroud. Stroud seems to probably be the consensus QB2, but Will Levis probably with that higher ceiling you might consider at this point. So I think that you're going to have to go CJ Stroud or Will Levis here. I don't think I really see it going any other way, and I'll just take CJ Stroud here. They said that they need a no-doubt prospect, and a prospect with a little less holes is CJ Stroud, so I think that would really indicate more, fundamentals, and CJ Stroud probably has that down a little bit more and looks more of a mistake-proof quarterback than Will Levis, who's got a lot of developing to do. And that being said, at number 5, Seattle can consider a quarterback due to recent quotes and events that have gone down in that Seattle office. They've said that they are going to consider, a quarterback. And I think Will Levis makes his way off the board at 5, can develop behind Geno for a couple of years. Very bold, very, very, very bold by me. And right here for me, 3 players are in play. It is Tyree Wilson, Christian Gonzalez, and Myles Murphy. I think that Christian Gonzalez probably offers the highest upside, although Tyree Wilson has the potential to be the best rusher in this class, along with Myles Murphy. All 3 of them are great, players at this point. So what do you need more is what it really comes down to. I think Christian Gonzalez at number 6 isn't an exact steal, but it works. And now with all the quarterbacks off the board by pick 7, what do you do if you are the Raiders? Do you build around Jarrett Stidham? Do you take Anthony Richardson? Do you take one of these edge rushers who you don't exactly need? Except Chandler Jones isn't quite the player that we've seen in the past this last season. He wasn't really there. In my opinion, he wasn't good. And Tyree Wilson can learn from guys like Max Crosby and Chandler Jones and be that next Max Crosby for you. Tyree Wilson off the board at number 7, hires high upside. Texas Tech edge was very good in college, in my opinion. I think that he might be able to really develop and find a way to that edge, or find a way to the quarterback pretty quick off the edge. And at number 8 here, Myles Murphy in play here for sure. So we got Myles Murphy in play, maybe Joey Porter, They've been scouting DB, so Brian Branch even in play here at number 8. They said something, or the GM has come out and said that nickel is probably one of the most important parts and positions on a defense. That being said, we're getting even bolder with this mock draft. If you could believe that, Brian Branch off the board at number 8 is very, very high for what people have mocked him at. He's left for the first round in some mock drafts. Personally, I don't think he's that bad. I think that he is a stud player, offers one of the highest upside and highest floors right now in all of the draft class. And to take him at number 8 is completely justified in my opinion. I don't think that you have to sit around saying anything. And if you are the Carolina Panthers, you're looking at Derek Carr, but they want to win now. And do you do that with Anthony Richardson? Probably not. But do you do that with an elite edge rusher on the other side of Brian Burns? Yes, you do. And you have the chance to have another elite pass rusher with Myles Murphy on the other side who can also play the run and set the edge quite well. So that's the things I've heard about Myles Murphy, and I think that he'd fit well on the other side of Brian Burns. I know this mock draft has a lot of you guys hating me right now. I don't care. I'm going to keep going with the flow. I'm going to keep going and moving along with both corners off the board here for the Eagles. This is a potential trade down spot. But I think that you would go Joey Porter Jr. if you were to stay. You need that corner. I think you got a lengthy developmental guy out of Penn State. I think that he also offers quite some upside, but not quite as much as those top 2 guys. But a lot of guys do like Joey Porter Jr. I've heard great things. Cannot wait to see how it translates into the league. And then if you are the Titans, Peter Skoronski with guard versatility will be my pick here at number 11. Another one of my favorite prospects that I've heard a lot about. Brief little discussion here. I don't break these guys down. I don't watch their tape. I know what the teams need and want, and I listen to a lot of the mainstream news. I also listen to a lot of different opinions on these guys, but I personally do not break these guys down. Want that to be completely fair. I don't know the first best thing about some of these guys. I just know consensus and basically what they do well and what they don't. So that being said, at number 12, Houston Texans are in need of maybe a receiver. Maybe you still want Paris Johnson at tackle. Maybe you want interior Brian Brzee and Lucas Van Ness still down the board. Maybe you even want to pull a corner. You're very weak at corner. I don't think it's been talked about enough nearly. I think you could get one down the board though. Maybe a guy down the board can maybe come out as Julius Brents. Jalen Jones down the board isn't all that bad either. I'm looking for one in specific, but Riley Moss is also great down the board. Mekhi Garner is good. Which one's the one I'm thinking of? Is Julius Brents the 6'4" one? I think that he might be. I couldn't tell you for sure, but we'll go back to all, and I think at this point you do want to take a player that can help Bryce Young, whether that is offensively as a weapon or offensively as a helper in general. I think Paris Johnson, probably one of the highest floor tackles in this class for sure. And it's just solid Ohio State player. And, you go up against some of the best edge rushers at Ohio State, and I think that says a lot and whatnot. And that being said, you are left with one tackle if you are the Jets, and that is not ideal. Broderick Jones off the board at number 13. And then at number 14, you've got a lot of homework done if you are the New England Patriots after the Combine. And who tested the best? I mean, honestly, everyone thinks that Jalen Hyatt is going to blow the Combine up. And I don't think you really need that type of player. You already have Tyquan Thornton. Not saying that he's the same type of player. All right, I know they aren't. For all you Patriots fans that are quick to judge on me, all right. Jalen Carter is not a thing in this. I don't know why I even brought him up. Quentin Johnston is who I meant to say is also a very interesting guy that a lot of people think is going to test well. That being said, I think that Mac Jones could really use a target like Quentin Johnston. It's like a more complete Devontae Parker, in my opinion, a little bit taller, just a little bit more dynamic in that sense. And then right here, for me, it's either got to be Addison, Smith and Jigba, Mayer, or Brzee, or Van Ness. maybe even Osiris Torrance. You have a raging need at guard, but you also, yeah, actually, I didn't even think about that. Osiris Torrance is well in play here at number 15, interior offensive line. And then if you are also Jordan Love, though, or whoever may start for my Green Bay Packers team, you're going to want a weapon like Michael Mayer or Jordan Addison. I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba is considered a weapon if you already have Romeo Doubs kind of playing. I don't think that he'd be as effective in the wideout spot. So I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba would be your first option. But if you like the tape enough and if he tests good enough, if he runs a sub 4.5, I think a lot of teams, so somewhere in the 4.4s, I think a lot of teams is going to move Jackson Smith and Jigba up. So a lot of people do not think that he's going to run that fast right now. But Michael Mayer will be my pick here at number 15, just a reliable security blanket / target for whoever that quarterback is. Here at Washington, this is a very popular pick. I don't think anyone would be surprised the second I take Kelee Ringo here. I'm just kidding. I was going to go Cam Smith. Kelee Ringo, I saw, and I'm like, Kelee Ringo still has very high upside. I think that he was cornerback 1 for a long time until that playoff game against Ohio State. And I mean, Kelee Ringo missed a couple things and whatnot, and now I think that he's working his way back up, and with a good combine, he can really show what's up. And if he tests well enough athletically, I think teams will start to really check out his talent. And I don't think teams really have a struggle with that. I don't think NFL teams have trouble breaking down Kelee Ringo. I think it's more of the public consensus and social media. I think Kelee Ringo was beat to hell about a month ago, where he was dropping to maybe the second round, middle of the second round, and that is just not the type of player he is. You do need a guard, or you don't need a guard. You need a tackle if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers at this point. Unfortunately, Broderick Jones probably would be your guy. He's gone. He is out of here. I'm in love with Anton Harrison, or I'm in love with Darnell Wright. I love Anton Harrison as well, but in my opinion, Darnell Wright is one of my favorite players in this class for frickin' sure. You also have Dalton Kincaid, and then one of these receivers on the board here, Brian Brzee, a need. Lucas Van Ness could be fun. I think Brian Brzee does play a role for you, though. I think that you've got to take, you don't have to, but at this point, you could probably still get the tackle, early second round and whatnot. I don't think that you really have that, that blaring need right now, because I don't think they pick inside. Okay, they do pick the first pick of the second round because of that forfeit pick, I think. So, we could recap real quick, but I didn't even want to do that. So that's maybe what I'll do in the next mock draft after combine. I'm going to do one before and after the combine, see if anything shakes up, see where a lot of guys are building hype. Here at number 18, you went Christian Gonzalez on your first pick, and now you are probably looking very interested into an offensive player of sorts, maybe an edge player. Maybe look at Lucas Van Ness. Nolan Smith is well in play here. BJ Ojulari, I think, is good. I think that he's just underrated a lot now because of all the people with the tools and the hype ahead of him. And I think that starts with Lucas Van Ness, and I think I will take him at 18. No shame, and also no harm, no foul. At corner, I think that this is pretty straightforward. Cam Smith, it's a need. He's a player. Move along. And then at number 20, Seahawks. If they knew Anthony Richardson was going to be on the board here at 20, would they have gone with Will Levis at 5? Maybe. No way of telling for sure. And you do need interior offensive line. I was going to do this pick regardless of the suggestion box or not. I think Osiris Torrance is a good player. I think 20 might even be a little too far for him. He can go off anywhere from, in my opinion, the 12th to probably the bottom of the first round. It kind of just varies on how much a team likes and values the position and the player. So it is what it is. Here at 21, we started off really bold, and it's about to come back after gaining a little bit of some sense in the mind. I'm taking Bijan Robinson. I know you've recently taken Isaiah Spiller. I know you have Austin Eckler. Eckler's damn near 29, I think, if not 30. Older guy. And he's still running really well, don't get me wrong. One injury comes through, it might knock him out, and it might also change his perspective on his career. He's got a lot going outside of football as well. So Eckler might not be there forever. Bijan is that perfect second punch for you as well. And Isaiah Spiller was kind of a bust in that first year. Maybe you don't really take up his 5th year, or you don't even have the 5th year option on. Maybe you just kind of trade him away for a 5th round pick or something to rebuttal or whatnot. Then here at 22, you're looking for the complete player, probably the safest prospect at receiver. For me, it is always going to be receiver here because the next best cornerback is Deonte Banks, and I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he could easily sneak into the 1st round pick. He's a guy with a lot of tools, maybe not a lot of speed, but a lot of tools, a lot of height, and a lot of, I don't know, upside, I guess. But for me, right here, it's between these 3 top receivers. And I think Addison would probably be the safest guy for Baltimore at 22. And I'm telling you what, in my dynasty leagues, I would be taking Addison in that 1st round, and maybe in that top 5 pick and range. If you guys don't know what dynasty football is, imagine fantasy with the same team every year with trades and rookie drafts. So you get to draft these rookies every year. So that is also pretty fun, something I'm really invested in right now. But right here, you need basically everything if you are the Minnesota Vikings. And to me, that is another burner receiver. It is a cornerback. I'm saying Deonte Banks has a chance. I'm saying that Nolan Smith has a chance. I'm saying that someone I mentioned a little bit earlier, BJ Ojulari, has a chance. Stays in purple. To me, one of the one of the better edge rushers in the class for sure. I mean, he might not have the upside of some of these guys, but he is incredibly talented, and I cannot wait to see what he can do. In the league, and I think that he'll be good immediately, better than some, and he might not just develop into one of those high caliber players. VJ Ojulari, it's not a raging need for Minnesota, but I think it is a player that some teams will like, and I think Minnesota would find him kind of intriguing, although it doesn't really fit what you're trying to do currently. I think he plays a huge role 2 years from now or so. And then if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you are fine on receiver. I don't even know why that's a discussion here. I've seen Dalton Kincaid and Darnell Washington go at this point in time. Probably not your go-to. You're probably looking at one of these developmental tackles, whether it's Anton, Darnell Wright, or DeJuan Jones. For me, it's got to be Darnell Wright, or it should have been Antonio Johnson for me, or Trenton Simpson, who's fallen way too far. That might stop right now, but if you are the New York Giants, you like the upside. I don't know what they did last year. They took Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, and they had a couple other picks like Wandale and whatnot. So they don't really shoot for the stars, but I think you have to with Jalen Hyatt. He's already got an okay floor. Winning the Biletnikoff obviously means something in college football. And I think that Jalen Hyatt right now is not a prove-it player, but we'll see how well he tests. And if he tests through the roof, I think he is not a lock for the 1st round, but there's like an 80% chance he goes in the 1st round right now. And I think that he has like a 90% or 95% chance that he goes in the 1st round, after he tests incredibly well. Right here, if you are the Cowgirls, I think that you're going to need a player, someone with a little bit more height on the other side of Trayvon Diggs and a little bit better cover ability. Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland, will go at 26. And then if you are the Buffalo Bills, safety Antonio Johnson looks really intriguing. You have Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Poyer's contract, I think, is up after this season, and if not, it's next season. Micah Hyde, who's 32 or so, 31, could be 30. I don't know. He's old. He's old as bones. He got those old bones. He got hurt last year for all of last year, so definitely a position right there. And then tight end, I've had to the Bengals a couple of times, but I think Michael Mayer falls for me. So not the case in this one, so it's Dalton Kincaid instead. And then here at number 29 with New Orleans, you're in need of a lot here. I tell you, Drew Sanders would be a fun, versatile piece. Trenton Simpson would also be fun. But I think Nolan Smith offers some higher upside than both of those guys. Keon White, you might even consider. Anton Harrison. Kalijah Kancey. You could use some interior pass rush. He's one of the smaller defensive tackles in the class. And I think Kalijah Kancey has a chance to really put his name into the 1st round here. I'm going to do it. Screw it. This is not my thought and my thought idea. It kind of just popped into my mind when I saw his name. Kalijah Kancey. a fun player. Pittsburgh defensive tackle, plays down at like 285 or so, maybe even lower than that, maybe 280. And that is not ideal for a defensive tackle if you guys are not, if you guys are curious. But what makes him so good is his burst and the way that he can kind of fit through gaps and the way that he can kind of attack the quarterback and just find a way to destroy a play, or at least delay the play, or whatever you want to call it. There's a certain word I'm looking for, obstruct or something like that. At number 30, you chose Joey Porter Jr. At number 10, you're on the board at number 30. Jackson Smith-Njigba has fallen perfectly to you. Jackson Smith-Njigba would be in the slot with both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown on outside versatility, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith also both being able to play the slot. And I think Jackson Smith-Njigba could also play outside in the certain sets that they have. So really good pick here. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I think value has fallen straight into your hands. And then if you are on the board here at number 31, and Trenton Simpson is still here, you've got to take him. One of the highest upside players in this class. Personally, I think that he has one of the highest ceilings out of any player in this draft, not just defensively, out of any player in this class. He has some tremendous talent and tremendous versatility. And here you are with this tackle in hand. Anton Harrison will be my pick at the end of this one. So that'll be all for me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know how you guys felt. I know this is probably very controversial. I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me. I know maybe a lot of backlash. I don't know. We'll see how many views this video gets, but that'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.